If they've already copyrighted their real life, that's pretty funny. But you know, they may have. They may fucking have. You know. Cheers to them. They can hit me, I guess. Oh shit, Gutty's going live right now. Yep, yep. Right on. Right on. Cheers to Gut Rot, man. I'm fucking up. Can't be there. And here. Ken will show up in a second. Yeah. And he doesn't do shit like that. Like Gut Rot definitely doesn't do shit like that. Wagwan, Wagwan. What's going on, man? I'm just dropping some buzz in the grind. Oh, what's up? Whew. Dude's coughing over there. Dude's coughing over there. Everything's pretty normal right now. I would say. If they've already copyrighted their real life, then here I get screwed on that. That's cool. Frankie, brother. All aboard, Frankie. All aboard. Cheers to you, brother. How you doing, Mr. O'Banion? Cheers to you and your people. We had some good times, Frankie, taking the kids around, looking at some, fireworks and all that good shit. We had good times, brother. My dad, like I said, he's got to take the kids out, right? So he took the one son out to Popeyes, brother. He took him out to Popeyes, brother. It's been a hot one, brother. Yes, sir. It's been a hot one. Hey, just as it should be, man. The hot summer, man. Just as it should be. Cheers to you. I'm about to roll a big one, Frankie. Yo, Poppy Carl, man. Hey, I tried to join up with you. I figured out why I couldn't hear you before. I fixed that setting. I will join up with you, but now Gut Rot is live, brother. Yeah, man. We took him to the Popeyes, brother. He tried to give him the best fried chicken, Looking like a glizzy. Oh, where's my buns? Gonna be between Poppy's buns. All glizzed up. Sliding through them buns there, Poppy. Sliding through them buns there, brother. So what are you gonna do, man? You're gonna go join up with Gut Rod over there, talk to Ken, your puppy boy. I tried to join yours, man. What'd you do? Psst. Hey, what's up? What's up, Crumble Wig? What's the secret, man? What's the secret, man? Tell me the secret code. Hamburger. It's just hamburger. That's the secret code. Frankie knows. Get some cold beers in your life. Hamburger. Cheers. All aboard the hamburger train. Nah, no more beer, man. But I got another tea that I got ripped off on. I'll drink that. We're all in bliss, man. We're all in happiness. What CrumbleWig? He can come up live, man. He knows how to come up live. He's got live streams and shit. Don't bring any fake people up here, man. Yeah, Paul Rubens was the best, man. And Roddy McDowell, man. Roddy McDowell. Don't hate the gays, you know. They made Hollywood what it is. Don't hate them. All right, it's time to roll a joint, didn't I? Yes, R.I.P. Paul Rubens' brother, for sure, man. For sure, man. He got hassled around, man. Crumblewick is coming to the stage, man. I can't believe it. Hold on.
Hey,
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
not too bad. Not too bad. I got to figure out my echo here.
Okay, well, actually, if you talk, man, I tell people to talk about linguine. Do you like white sauce? Do you like red sauce? Just keep talking. I'll hit your mic settings, as you do. Just keep talking. Just keep talking. No problem. You sound good now.
All right. I had to close the window behind it. It was echoing everything on me.
Yeah, when you have like a stream of what we're doing. Yeah, you're correct, sir. You're correct. How you doing, Crumblewood? It's nice
I'm
to
doing good.
finally
Doing
see
good.
you.
Yeah, just
It's fun.
hanging out. That's about it.
Yeah,
Trying to figure out my next plan in life. Don't we all do that?
I suppose, man. I suppose, if you can change anything, I believe everything is just like chemically locked. I'm stuck into my system.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
never do it again. I'll be an adult next time, but I'm not out of this fucking cycle, brother. Never get out of
Yeah.
it. If I get it next time, I'll do it right.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to maybe go help out on a cannabis farm.
Well, that's awesome, bro.
And
That's
I
awesome.
think that might be a cool thing to take a look at. I mean, I don't know doing what.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can spend your life in trim jail, you know?
Sure.
But,
Yeah.
but
My
yeah,
wife,
it's
my wife's mother, she works. She literally is a trimmer, in a dispensary place.
yeah,
Saddest part is they don't get any flour. They don't get any flour. They just get carts. And
really.
it's something. You know what I mean? Like you want to talk about the real like slavery part of it is they don't get anything. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
then
got a friend of mine who works at the local dispensary that we have, and he said it's fantastic. They get goodie bags every week. They get to try any of the new weed that comes in. They get super steep discounts, and yeah,
yeah, nah, she's in the total industrial part of it up in Pennsylvania, and it's just so industrial. Like it's so industrial. She was cracking open like pre rolls from 2 years ago that were full of mold and shit. And I don't know what
really,
they wanted to do with it, but that was her job for the day, and she was throwing up all day. You know what I'm saying? Like just cracking open old fucking industrial waste. That shit ain't good.
jeez, no,
No
not at
life,
all,
man.
man. So, how'd your sugar cube treat you, or is it treating you?
I'm coasting. I'm doing good. I'm fine.
Okay,
Like I said to you, I'd rather do this a little bit scientifically in the future because
yeah,
I spent like 14 years off of psychedelics, and when I came back, man, I still had the same tolerance, and I was like, this is disappointing. I thought I could get off on 2.5 grams of a mushroom,
yep,
but I can't.
yep. I remember you saying that. That's something that I ran into too, like with you talking about how great the Lizard King mushrooms were. And I'm
Oh yeah,
like, for me, it was eh.
yeah, yeah,
And, different walks for, different people and like that. So, maybe that's the
yeah.
case on it. But, as I
It's
said, I
not
had
even
the,
it's not even just that, it's our supplier. First of all, like everybody in Maryland's been growing those mushrooms forever. If you go to a Maryland festival and you want a truckload of mushrooms, like, you know, it's a
yeah,
thing. You know what I mean? They all the intelligence community, the fucking, computer dudes, they're all there. ecologists, all these people, like they're totally on and tuned into that shit. So we've always been able to get whatever we could afford over in Maryland or whatever, you know. It's just whatever you
Right.
can afford.
Right.
It's
Well,
there. You
that's why I decided, hey, I would just grow my own. I had gotten them from people before, but then, just like I am with weed, I get nervous that what I'm getting is spray pack weed, or
know?
maybe it's just, I just like knowing everything that I've put in my own weed. And it's the same thing with the mushrooms right now, but then it's getting good spores, getting good culture, to
Yeah,
cultivate
sure.
with, just like with weed, you get the good genetics, you're gonna, it's 90% of the battle right there, you
Yeah, it
know.
is, man. It is. And I hope people don't get real stingy with their old seeds and stuff because they don't need to be. You know what I mean? You'll never
Yep.
grow all those. You know, I know a couple dudes, they got, you know, just a couple of jars of seeds. Their
Yep.
lifetime, they'll never grow them, man. Somebody should eat those seeds,
Do you
actually.
ever go to Cali Bear's web channel?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was talking about seeds tonight because he's like, yeah, I
Okay.
save all the seeds that I get in my bags, that he gets in
Me
weed.
too.
He said, but
Me too,
at
but they're nothing. They're immature little, you know what
oh,
I mean? They're cracked little seeds, you know?
but then he turned around and said, yeah, I was given all my such and such seeds, and I've got
Right.
like thousands. And I
Right.
was
Yep.
like, what? And he's like, yeah, this is like their old races. And I was thinking, man, share the wealth if you're not going to grow. You could have a
Well,
gold mine
look,
in there.
there's nothing is expressed in a cannabis seed, right? So there's
Yeah.
no THC, anything in it. So we can all freely send those to each other.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
try not to get them destroyed, you know? What's
Yep.
up, Gut Rod? I know you're live, bro. Cheers, bro.
Let's see what's left in this bong.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been only a couple of days. I didn't expect to be a real hit. I'm definitely coasting along. Everything's good. But in the future, man, I want to be, I guess I could be more educated than I used to be, you know? Yeah, and Gutrod said, you know, he said, hey, you know, you want to put some crypto? I don't, but I'll share you some money, real money, and you can put it in crypto. But he said, you know, he'll get liquid or anything. So it remains to be seen, man. It's all open.
Yep. I was looking at I always start researching things when I see it, like the syrup, for example. And
Yes,
I was
sir.
like, wow. I'm like, well, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking, if he can get it, I wonder if I can get it. So I search
Right.
online real quick. It's like, God damn, I can buy this stuff by the gallon if I want, you
Sure.
know?
For sure.
And it's like,
THC nano syrup. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. First one I got was a sample. Yeah. It was a nice sample pack that he sent. But, you know,
yep, yep. But
he
then
has huge plasma bags he can fill for you too if you want like 2 gallons of syrup, you know.
really, that's
You get
great.
it.
That's funny.
Yeah, you can get it.
Yeah, yep.
I always like to support people that I know, you know, and try shit out and all that. And, you know, he's doing some small batch things here and there. Stoner is, and
Uh-huh.
like I said to him, I said I fucking love snowballs, man. And he's like, yeah, but in the market, don't they just throw them on crap flour? Yeah, they probably do. But if you have, you know, the opportunity to small batch it, why don't you make it all sativa? So it's just like a real up hit, you know,
Oh,
like.
sure,
And he said,
sure.
"Did you say?" He said, "Did you say salvia?" I said, "No, I mean sativa."
Could you
Not
imagine putting salvia on them? That would be fun.
salvia.
And
No.
people climbing out windows and shit.
Eyeballs all over their finger, you know, and shit like
Oh.
that. Woo! No, that's not what I said. Not today, man. Yeah, but yeah, I got some snowballs here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop them in a paper, man. It's fucking killer. But yeah, he has the
Nice.
ability to actually make them himself. That would be so cool if it was more specific to something that he thought was a good fucking bud. You know,
Right.
that'd be cool. Crypto Kings, blockchain Coltrane. Yep. But yeah, it was like I was so skeptical because we have legal medicinal and rec over here. 21-year-olds, they're allowed to give it to each other, not sell it to each other. That's the deal.
Okay.
But they restrict all the THCA because of that, because we're so wide open legal for like regular weed. We
Right.
can't go to a store and buy diamonds or whatever, like not at all. And some of these online companies won't ship flour, but they will ship like concentrates and isolates, kind of weird,
Uh-huh.
right?
That is. That is.
But everybody's gonna get hit with this, guys. Industrial hemp is not gonna be able to be sold and fucking marketed as combustible. That's what you guys are gonna deal with for months right now. And I'm just telling you because the whole agenda is to get everybody on medical, get everybody's fucking phone number, name, and get your Venezuelan weed in here where you couldn't get a fucking fly high, like they say.
Yeah, and
That's what
that's
you're
what
gonna
we
get.
want. Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get. Support the people that have been growing this shit forever. That's the way to do it.
You know, I can't see us taking that big of a step backwards. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but Altria and all these companies, they just want to own that shit, bro. I mean, like they know how to sell everybody lunch. They're pretty good at it. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. I worked healthcare for like 15 years, and I saw a lot of it like that. I remember going to a doctor once, and I decided I wanted to stop going to see him, and he's like, "Why?" I
Right.
said, "Because every month I come in, you got a different clock hanging on the wall, and whatever pharmaceutical company that is, that's kind of what you're prescribing for me." And I said, "That's
And this is why he said he didn't want to let you go. He didn't want a number to go. Like, why
yeah,
would you leave me my number? Like
yeah,
I love this relationship. Why?
yeah."
Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's sad. I mean, I hope you're not dealing with long term, conditions and things. But
No, but yeah, it's crazy out there when it comes to that. It really is. I've been only growing for about 3.5 years, and
Mhm.
yeah, I love it. I never thought I would be. It was accidental in a roundabout manner. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
you know how that
Yeah, I
goes.
mean, look, check this out. If you just catch these, okay, watch. Wait, just go and text this. That was. I'm putting my number out. Anyway, what I mean to say is, so like 2 years ago, my farmer, I asked for, do you have any extra pepper seeds because they sent me killer peppers, and she said sure. She sent them to me. I put them in the ground. I have four like AK-47 Dutch cannabis plants all of a sudden, like four seedlings.
Ah,
And I'm like, these don't look like any peppers. She said, I thought you were speaking in code. I was like, I was not speaking in code, but I don't,
no,
I don't have any proper place to do this. So I talked to a couple of the local neighbor ladies, gave them a couple plants. Their cats ate them. That's what happened
really.
there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, their cats ate them. And I ended up with two plants, and I ended up with like three joints, real leggy plants that were looking
Yeah,
for sun the whole time, but I ended up with like two joints out of them that were like 7 out of 10. It tasted really good, but whatever. It was an accident. It was nice to babysit the plant and play music and shit. That was the best part, just hanging out.
yeah, yeah. That is, I did not hang out much with my plants outside today other than watering the piss out of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. It was just so hot and humid up here today, but we had a little family picnic that went well. That was nice.
That's cool.
I say a family picnic is humorous, but everybody's family is unique. So my
Right,
sister's adopted. 3 or
right.
4 years ago, she went and found her adopted parents.
All right, all right.
So
The
that's
more
where
the
I was
merrier, my
today.
man. The more the merrier. This is how the family grows.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get invited to all these events now with these great people. One of the guys is a grower he doesn't smoke weed because it makes him too paranoid, but he's like one of those scientist growers.
Yeah.
Like he's talking to me today about using lactic acid and bacillus on my. I'm like, he's like, yeah, you can make it yourself right on your countertop. I'm like, dude, you're going a little over my head right now.
Get your petri dish out, man. Come on, it's time
Yeah,
for put on your coat.
that's right.
Yeah, off
Science
grid's always
time.
in science. Off grid's always in science, but always smoking.
Yeah.
He maintains that balance.
Yep.
His weed cellar is like 27 pounds right behind him. He
Yes.
also has a safe, and he also has something else because you don't put it all in the same place. But there's 27 pounds behind him,
Yeah.
and
He
he's
said
so
the other one
dedicated.
day, did you see his balls of hash today?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, here's the small one.
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. And I threw him away last season.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes. I said the small one, huh? It's all blonde and shit. I got a good stash of keys over here too. But that was pretty. That was pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up with Afghanis too. So I grew up with Afghanis that would just bring fingers. You get a quarter a stick. It's just a quarter-ounce stick. You open it up and
Yep.
it's green and beautiful. And oh my gosh, it smells like 24 weed plants in your finger, just like
Yep.
killer Afghani, bro.
Yep.
Just put a
Yeah.
little
I
thin piece on it.
I even didn't. I'm trying to think about it now. I took probably a 20-year gap in smoking weed too, because for some reason at that time, I would get so paranoid. Like I remember once, it's a funny story, sitting there, we got really high. I was having a great time. Then the paranoia came, and I
Right?
find myself hiding behind the sofa. My wife at the time comes over and asks me what I'm doing. I'm like, the landlord is going to levitate up here. We lived on the third floor and ask for rent. And I'm like, and I ain't got it. And
Right. Oh boy.
she's like,
Yep.
all right, you better go lay down. She's like, that ain't right.
One of
Yeah.
my mistakes, man. Same thing. I always do the mushrooms around Christmas and shit, and I'm like too fucking giving. And we're sitting here, man. My wife and I, we're both fucking idiots. We're like very diminutive people with no thoughts, And our son was at work, and I was like, "It's fucking cold. He can't be at work. Let's call him. He needs to come back. It's fucking cold." And she was like, "He's in a building," and I'm like, "But it's cold out there, He
Right.
he doesn't have to go back. We'll pay for him. He
That's funny.
doesn't have to go to that fucking place." That shit's funny, man. She's like, "Yo, yeah, man. I don't know. Psychedelics are so awesome because you go through all the corners of your mind, all these things you've been putting off, and that's why you suck because you haven't been dealing with them. You get a little bit of diminishment. It's like, not all the world celebrates for you. You're wrong. You need to fix shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I found a place that I was able to go through for ketamine therapy.
That's
And
cool. Yeah.
they send you the ketamine to your house, and then they're really receptive to, like, do you feel that dose was big enough? If not, we can increase it, we can like triple it for you or something. And it's like, I'll tell you what, an enlightening eye-opener that was.
You
you
please,
know
please let me know. Put me in contact with whatever that is because
sure.
I'm a big believer in ketamine. Like I was talking to Off Grid about how my mother became a veterinarian just when she had a second chance at getting a career. And these
Okay.
really cool people that were running these really huge businesses, one of the things was they were like a broken up couple, but they still loved each other. And so he would be there on the weekends and stuff. And she kept his record collection and stuff. But one of the things is always in their kitchen, huge bottle, right? One letter on it. Huge bottle in their kitchen, one letter on it. K. And then that's, because they were veterinarians and whatnot. They had unlimited access and they would just
Yeah.
have their K and make their fucking peace and be real people with each other, like
Yep.
the
Yeah.
communication that they had was much more honest and probably had more characters than Chinese language.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what we need in our lives. You know, we need this truth and reality and clarity between
Oh
each
yeah.
other.
I remember you have to have a sitter with you when you do this. So,
Hmm.
again, that's a smart thing. I mean, I suppose you don't, but I mean, why be a jerk? Follow what they have set up for you. And you know, with having somebody in there, we recorded a bunch of stuff too that went on
Yep,
so that you could hear that.
that's
But I
good.
remember this one section I was talking about. My sister said, "What's going on?" And I said, "I just walked into a room with all my problems." And I said,
Hmm.
then the whole bottom of the room fell out. And she's like, "Well, what were you thinking about?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And to this day, I couldn't tell you what the problems were that left, but they definitely did, because I've been in different circumstances that would have created, anxiety or panic or stuff, and I can just shrug it off now. So that's
Some of
that's a
those
big
some of
thing.
those edges now they aren't so sharp and those triggers don't exist. What's up, Outlaws? Cheers, brother. Yeah, man. If you can soften the edges and those triggers don't exist, good for you. You're free in your mind and getting on
Yeah.
with things.
So I got to see something here. For some reason, I can't see the chat.
Uh oh,
So
uh
no, no, no,
oh.
no.
It's
That's so.
weird and it's weird in StreamYard. Sometimes you have to be like, just say something. I mean, like post a comment and then verify yourself, and then I think you'll be hooked up.
Let me
You have to
see.
like do two
No,
steps.
I see it now. There we go. I think
Yeah, if
so.
you say something. Yeah, this is the snowballs. It's really good. It's very citrusy. It's delicious. You know, it's got a real up kick. You know, real high.
There we go. Sorry about that. It made me download something and upgrade some shit,
I
but
know.
I'm in now. Now I can see everybody that's in the chat. What's going on, Outlaws?
He
Thought
says, "I'm
Robbie
me three
was
times.
still
I'm me. Verify, verify."
there. Yeah, they're like, which channel do you want, or which account do you want to use? And I was thinking, yeah, why don't I use my old work account and see what they think about that?
Right, right. I discovered. I guess I discovered YouTube at work. I have a YouTube channel. Mine's 19 years old or whatever because I discovered it in 2005 or so. You know.
Yep,
And it was
yep,
crazy. So I have like this old ass channel because I used to watch some of the beginning content. There
yeah,
were no restrictions back then. It was way different, you know.
yep, yeah. Well, that's like Amazon. I was ordering from Amazon back when they were just books. Like when they first started out,
Me too.
uh I have an aunt and uncle who live over in France. They were over for
Hmm.
the summer, and she said to me, "I need this book." And I'm like, "Hey, I
Right,
heard of this new cool thing. Let me see if I can find it." And she's like, "Well,
right.
will it be here before I leave to go back home?" And I'm like, "They say it will." And sure enough, it was. And it was, great price, great service, whole 9 yards. But that was eons ago.
Oh yeah, oh
The
yeah. I
infancy
remember
of Amazon.
starting Amazon in I don't know 2005 or 2004, something like that. And when I started, they would say it would be like up to 21 days, with when they didn't have a book in their possession. So
Right.
they would give you that up to 21 days. That meant maybe never. Like you had to learn that that meant maybe never. But if they had it in their possession, they would guarantee it within a week or something.
Yeah.
And then I was literally in school, you know, in college. So some of those books, like, you know, if it was out of print, 79 bucks. Like you knew that. And like you
Yeah.
just had to suck it up and put down 79 bucks, you know, if you wanted
Right.
the fucking book. Just suck it up. It's not like these days where what's the Temu one cost or whatever. You didn't
Yeah.
have those games to play, you know?
Yeah. That's true. That is very true.
Amazon, I could not have done my actual college without Amazon. No way. No way. I had to learn how to look up ISBNs and all type of shit, you know?
Uh
I couldn't have done it because I was doing philosophy and anthropology, you know? So the books weren't just there at the store, at the fucking, you know,
huh.
the
Huh.
college store or whatever. They weren't there on campus.
Yeah.
You had to
No, it
fucking
was. I sit and think back and I wonder how much different college would have been for me if, I'll date myself, if computers existed. Because they
Right?
didn't,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it was just, they did not. They
Well,
were in
what is
their
your
infancy.
everybody goes by your high school graduating year, which means mine is 1996. What is your high school graduating year?
83.
83. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 83, I'm playing with computers, but I'm a baby, and I'm already sick of them like 4 years later. You guys don't
Right.
even know. You guys are
Yeah.
like partying, you're driving your fucking Corvettes and doing good things.
Sure. It was
You guys
it
are
was
having
different.
fun,
There
man.
was like
Yeah.
one dude in college who had a computer, and he went and did stuff he shouldn't have done. And I kid you not, one night the FBI or whoever came and they took all his stuff and they, asked us all questions thinking he was a terrorist and everything
Yep,
else.
yep,
And it's,
yep, yep.
but
Yep, he got that treatment, man. Yep.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he was looking too far. He's not supposed to be because it really was a government thing. Like I was on in the 80s with my dad and stuff because he was in Department of Defense and we had
okay,
friends who were in those agencies. Put the phone on the thing and overnight we could play narc and we could play like text only games and shit in 85, 87 bulletin boards. But they were all connected with the government.
okay,
So, some of these people like to each other, they share like adult shit or whatever. But you can't cross any lines that have, any sort of governmental implications or else, they'll come to your home like in a minute. They've got your phone number. It's a landline. They've got your area code. They got you.
nice. It's
Couldn't
true.
mess around. Couldn't mess around
Yeah,
because it was all internal people.
right, right. Hmm.
But all of them are whatever they like. They had all their punk element. So they had all those people that are just shit disturbers that were always doing that. And
Right.
sharing all of that info. And those people are, I guess, the people that had a lot of influence on me. I got the whole like Youth International Party Line uh, mailer set over here and stuff. Like those people inspire me. The freakers and the hackers and those people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they had to be actually connected and intelligent enough too to know what they were fucking with. So they weren't
sure.
like dummies. They weren't
No,
dummies. They
not
were
at
just shit
all.
disordered. Like they were not happy.
I mean, if
you
you
know.
look at them, most of them, once they get arrested, the government hires them to work for them. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Right. Because they find exploits and they become like a complete commodity.
Yep.
They find exploits. They know how to work the world. A lot of us know how to work the world. Don't know how to explain it just because we only did it by survival. Can't explain it. Don't even know what we're doing, man. That's where my wife and I bump up on each other. We're like too street smart, and then we bump up on each other, and we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what fucking game we're running, and we have to remember. Oh yeah, and we're both dumb, and we love each other. It's all good. It's all good. I meant nothing. Well, this is real nice, man. Snowballs. Try it if you have the option, man.
Nice, nice.
And I got this huge bag of wedding cake. I asked you about the, birthday cake, wedding cake. You said definitely wedding cake wins. So I'm in it. And it's totally stony. It's really good.
Good, good. Yeah, we don't get like a big assortment in the dispo like the snowballs. I've seen the moon rock sitting there for eons.
Yes, sir.
I did get, where the hell is it? This is by Old Pal. It's a 2-gram infused blunt, and it's a sativa, but the flavor is called fresh squeezed.
Okay.
And
What does it mean? It's infused. It's infused with natural terpenes because I know they do that stuff
yes,
around here.
and I got
Like
to
when you
tell you,
mentioned the moon rocks, right? They'll have them here, but only in a pre-roll. Like you can't get your own. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah, and this thing tastes like oranges. I shit you not. This is the third one I bought. I bought the last one they had in the place because my wife absolutely loves them. But yeah, I mean, the thing's a beast. It really is. Glass tip. It's the glass tip's nice enough that you can smoke it all the way down to the end. So
Well,
it's
damn it, off grid. I'll send you the join in link. You're gonna watch Friday Night 2. Nah, man, that's awesome. How much do they charge? Like 35 or so.
that
You stopped smoking for a long time. I stopped for 5 years because
yeah.
there was nothing but cartridges here, and I
They
said, forget
were
it. This was street stuff.
it
You
was
know,
buy one get one half off, so I ended up so it came out to $30 a piece.
cool, fair enough. Yeah, they got that around here. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Fright Night 2 is pretty trippy, man. That's when the Menendez brothers killed their father, though. That's what killed Carol Cole right then.
What's going on, Off Grid? Fright Night 2, huh? That is a good flick. Haven't seen it in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. He had one of my he has my part one that I had that was a wraparound, and I have a part one to keep. But I also have one more, man. I'm gonna send it to Benny. He knows Benny.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, Fright Night 2, yeah, that's crazy. It's more of like it's like an 80s punk disco type thing too, so it's got a wild part to it. But no, seriously, like Mr. Menendez killed by his children at that time, that destroyed Carol Co. right at that moment. It was the exact part of time. And now they're getting out, I guess. That's what I've been hearing recently.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they're getting out or got out already, one or the other, but they're definitely getting out. So,
Yep. Yep. Like if they got out last month or the last couple months for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah.
wild stuff, man.
Yeah, it is when you grow up around all of that and it's like, you watch the trials and all that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's different. Different opinions, different ways people looked at it between now and then. It was pretty cut and dry back then.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, people have been like, hey, so and so was a very abusive father and treated them in such a way and all this,
Right.
and you got all of that. But you also from the outside world, like you said, cut and dry back in the day when it was like on court TV. Most of the world was like, "Oh yeah, I really whined for these rich kids, that killed their
Yeah.
father and said they went to the movies." You know what I mean? Like the
Right.
real world was like, kind of fuck these guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
these privileged assholes. They killed him on the tennis court and whatnot, and pretended they were in the movies because he was a huge movie producer, and they probably didn't even know anything else. Yeah, it's sad shit, man.
Smoking on this boppers tonight. It's pretty good. It's a sativa also.
Right on. Where'd you get it, if I can ask?
Uh, after I finish coughing, yeah.
Yeah, it's boppers, man. It's boppers.
Yep.
I try not to cough, man. We watch a lot of cough channels. I try not to make mine in that category. We watch a lot.
I picked it up at the dispo. It is by Knack.
Okay.
It's made right here in Chestertown, New York.
Man, I've always loved New York strains. They're really good. I
Yeah,
love sativas.
So do I. It's our favorite, actually. Excuse me. Yeah, we prefer the sativas. I know last year the majority of what I grew was indicas because that's what a lot of people wanted. I
Hmm.
just, I've talked before about it. I pulled some clones from them last year, not expecting that the clones were going to grow really well. Just because it
Yeah.
was the first time I'd really pulled clones. So what the hell do I know? And each
Right.
of the clones ended up yielding me a pound off from each one in little 2x2 tents.
Giving
So
trees. They became.
yeah,
They
yeah,
became
they
giving
were.
trees. Yeah.
But then I'm
Yeah.
sitting on, I know it's an awful problem to have, but I'm sitting on 2 pounds extra of weed that if I use it for edibles, is going to couch lock people and put them to sleep, which
Right.
that's what some people want, but
Right.
I know a lot of other people that want the other side of the coin.
I mean,
They want
when
to be
my
flying.
wife, she was all jumping on, when I got sample of the syrup, and I was like, yeah, that's cool to be jumping on it, but don't think you're gonna take it on the way to work. You might get tired, like you don't know. So
Right.
take it on the way to there. You know what I mean? Don't try to take it between jobs or something like it's a couple
Yeah.
puffs off of a cart. Not the
Right.
same thing. You might get tired, be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was made of specifically. It doesn't really matter because it's so full spectrum, I guess.
Mm.
But you might get tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell you, I was smart at that picnic earlier. I brought a couple of joints with me, a couple of pre rolls that I made up. That was a good
Yeah,
plan. Good plan
that's the
indeed.
way. That's the way to do it, man.
It's funny. I
To
call
stay
one
ahead.
person over and the rest of them follow like little ants going to a picnic. It's pretty funny.
You just drop some watermelon and
Yeah.
watch them march. Yeah, man. I guess that's what we did with our barbecue, but man, now I gotta go clean the grill because it was like catching on fire with all that grease and shit. I know I
Yeah,
gotta
you
go fix
said
it.
that. I thought you were going to do it earlier today.
I was gonna do it today, but my wife came over, and I didn't know she was going to. So yeah, so we changed everything. And then I tried to go just walk my daughter out to go get something to eat, and like they were closed. They were all like they took off the whole weekend, I guess. So we didn't realize that, so we couldn't get food either, really. I reheated her the stuff I was supposed to eat on fucking Friday. What's
Hey,
up,
is that
Sean?
Sean? What's going on?
That's Sean 420, not Sean 420 Pro. We got both.
Yep, this is Sean 420.
Right, right.
He gets a good welcome too.
Oh yeah, man. He's been around forever, man. He was one of those guys that watched my channel for a while. I could see him in my analytics, but he didn't sub up right away because he didn't fall for it. He was good. He was smart. Took months. I wore him down, and now he sends me the Joe cards, man. When he gets them. How many do I got right here? Yeah, I got them right here too. But yeah, you got more cards, right, Sean? He's usually out of town and forgets to send them, and he got hot. Yo, that's cough choking me up there. The end of that. Cheers, man. What do you have coming on the 10th? If you know, some paper, some liquid.
I have paper coming. I have, let me see, I have paper coming. I have whatever was called purple for $9. I can tell you that.
Uh-oh. I guess that's a couple of grams of bud. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's happening. And then whatever he's going to be sending me for what I won, which is pretty
Oh,
exciting.
like Cubensis.
Sorry,
Caps,
I'm
some
yeah,
caps,
yep, going that route. Sending
hats
you
and caps. That's the thing about our place, man. You guys can just look it up on Instagram. It's called Pot United DC, and they're a delivery service that does weed, and they call it compliant or whatever. It's a gift for I don't know what it is. Gift for donation economy. That's what it is. They curate,
Really?
and then you donate, and then they give you a gift. Anyway,
Okay.
that's
Well, they
how it
got it.
works. And then, but he's like a microdoser and a Sherpa and stuff for people, and
Okay.
and like a yogic. So that means like people like me, macrodosers, we only get heads or full fruits. There's no shake in the bag. He doesn't give us those little babies because he grinds them up and gives them to his minions of pill hoarders. 250
Right.
milligrams a time.
Right.
Guys who never have headaches anymore, but they also don't go to meet Jesus or whatever.
Right.
They just don't have
Right.
headaches anymore. Those guys. So there's no industrial waste in what we get as macrodosers. So that's pretty cool.
That is. That is.
It makes a difference in the end product. You don't have these little knees and shit that came off of the cube. You don't have knees and shit. No, 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 no. You have big, proud, heavy fruits.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
lesson that I super learned the hard way. And if I'm repeating myself, but did I talk about my mushroom incident?
Never. You've never.
Okay.
Yeah, I had one flush and then mold. That's all mine is. Wow. Big
Well,
fucking deal.
I ended
I
up with
figured out when to give it oxygen the first time. I was okay, but too late after that.
so this was my first run or my first ever trying one of those bags was a complete mess. And so I decided to give him another shot. Got cultures from a friend of mine who does all mushroom stuff and tried those. First bag,
Nursery guys.
pardon me?
Nursery guys. Seasonal guys. You go talk to the nursery guys, shake hands, talk to the
Oh,
seasonal
yeah.
guys that are delivering tomato plants. Say, hey, dude, you like mushrooms? They're like, huh. I mean, in my truck there might be some. You know what I mean? Then you get that conversation started.
Yeah. So I get the first flush, really good flush. Get my second flush, really good flush. And they said maybe you can get a third. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, this thing's dead, man. It's got like two little pins left on it. So I zipped up the
Right.
10 it was in, and I was basically like, fuck you, bag. I'm not going to deal with you till another time. So the other time came about 2 weeks ago. I go and I open up the tent to get it ready for the autos that I'm growing right now. God damn it, if there weren't 5-inch tall mushrooms, probably a pound and a half of them in that thing, and a
Oh,
black mold that had started on the other side. So I had to trash.
oh,
Yep, but
wow.
I learned a lesson, and that is, well, for one, 3 flushes is viable, but I realized that my initial flushes I could have pushed further. Let
Right.
them go further, let them get a little bigger instead of panicking and yanking them all before the
Because
barrels break.
since you ignored this one, your activity was out of it, and you saw, oh, these they got up to 5 inches tall and were
Yeah,
real happy and proud. But you didn't let that happen because you had too much activity on, too much hands
I
on
think
before.
so. I think so.
Yeah.
And that's all right. I can learn to look and leave my hands off. That's what I got to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I make good soil and not good plants. I am a real good death wrangler. A lot of, shells and hull of different guano and species of things. And everything's dead and killed and culled off. And I have all their skins and whatnot in my soil. But growing a plant is not my thing. I'm brown thumb.
I never had a real interest in it, to tell you the truth. I didn't. My father had greenhouses growing up, and he was a florist for 40 years also. So, anything to do
That's
with
huge.
growing stuff, I wanted to run the opposite direction from. But
My
I ended up learning a lot.
my father's father was a tailor. Like I wish everybody knew how to sew. I don't know how to sew. That really sucks. My
Yeah,
father's father was
yeah,
a tailor, man.
no,
If you could fit your suit to yourself, that'd be pretty freaking cool,
that would be. That would be. Man, think of the money you'd save. Suits are outrageous right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, you just go to the thrift store and recut it if you're if you got the skills.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. My father went to some suit place up in Syracuse and bought a suit. It was buy one, get one free. So, of course, he had to spend this god awful amount of money on suits. But one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
things
yeah.
they came with was tailoring for life that he
Mm-hmm.
paid this extra money for. So
Yes,
he
sir. Yep.
decided he only needs one
It's
suit.
like Brooks Brothers or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's given me the other suit, and I'm like, yeah, but don't I need the card? He's like, yeah, but it says my name, which is the same as his. He's like, so you just
Right.
got yourself a free suit. I'm like, okay, dude, that was nice. That was a good move.
And it basically has like a serial number, so you got it for life anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, I found out about those Lifetime shoes, Rockport shoes. My father and I, when I was younger, and so
Uh-huh.
I would get them, and they would be like, then it'd wear out because I was a skateboarder and everything. I wore them out quick, and then they would be like, well, we'll resole them, twice, three times, and then it'd be like, we'll replace them for life. And once I did that like six times, I was like, let me stop fleecing these people out of their
Yeah.
leather. You know what I mean? Like I just gotta give this up. They give me six times free shoes. Let me let it go. They got to go out of business quietly. I don't need I don't need their
Contribute.
blood anymore.
Do you have any?
Desert Industries, what like hardware, or are you talking about the gummies and stuff, like the road trip gummies or something? They sent them from unknown warehouse to me.
Huh.
But yeah, it was Desert Industry because it's like Desert Mix road trip gummies. Is that what you're talking about? That shit, it's good. Oh no, we don't have that one. Nah, we have Goodwill right here. Right here, we have Goodwill. But they know what everything is worth, man. They look everything up and they sell it online. They know what it's worth.
Yeah, they started doing that up here. I mean, the thrift stores used to really be a place where you could get great bargains on great stuff. And now, I mean, you go in there and you look at some of the prices and it's like, this is really a piece of crap. And
Yeah,
you got a
yeah,
$4 price on it, and it's like, man, I can probably go buy it brand new for $4.
yeah, yeah. No doubt about that. Yeah, they don't get any better than like a Ross or something like that, or Ross Dress for Less, or
Yeah.
Burlington or whatever. Like they don't get any better than that, and they want to charge you sometimes $2 more than what it is off the shelf. If you get it at
Oh yeah.
Target or something, they try to upcharge you. For like lighting fixture or some crap.
Yeah.
Whatever in the housewares. And Goodwill over here, they're serious because, like I said, they value everything. They sell it online first. They know what they're doing. They're fencing.
Yeah.
And so they like double mark stuff so that kids can't peel off the sticker and be like, oh yeah, this was supposed to be
Yeah.
$2. They like write underneath of it. They write in marker and shit. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
like a safety net and stuff. Yeah, back in the day, you could get shirts for $2.25
Oh yeah.
sometimes, but that's not the
Yeah.
deal anymore, man. Nah.
See, we have a local thrift store, and then we've got a Salvation Army thrift store. Now, the
Yeah,
Salvation Army thrift store, I can't shop in. Everything
yeah.
is by color. So
Oh
if
yeah,
you go, yeah, so if you go in, there's a red section, a blue section, a green section, whatever, and it drives me crazy. What if there's a set of
for
something
sure.
that was like four different colors? You're screwed hunting for the thing. You
Wow. Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, you don't have those like absolute liquidation places anymore. I mean, yet, like because they take like Amazon returns and they
Yeah,
drop them
we
off
had
every Thursday, and they cost $5 on Thursday and $1 on Monday, just like a revolving like down fucking
yep,
scale. And
yep.
this is the ugliest shit. We have them around here, and like people will kill each other for fucking
Well, ours we had
broken
two
stuff
of
from
them.
Amazon, bro.
We had two of them up here. One of them closed. They were owned by the same people. And then they started, to be honest, they started out fantastic. They were doing pallets and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, I think I bought 6, 7 pallets from them, of
Right, right,
stuff.
right,
Out
right.
of that, all that stuff was Amazon returns. However, at the end
And
of the
it's
day,
cool when it's cool when they walk you in the backyard and they're like, hey, you want to pay $30 per pallet? You want 3 pallets? Cool. And
yeah,
that's the deal. But when they dump them in the bins and everybody has to fight, they start
right,
killing each other over
right.
broken like vacuums, because it's
Yep.
day one, not day
And
4.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, day 4,
That's
people are overpaying for everything.
right. They started the bins. They do like $12, then 10, then 8, then 6, then 4, then 2, then 1. And it works out okay. I've done well there. I've got a son who sells stuff on eBay, so anytime I go there and there's car parts, I mean, if I go there on a $2 day, I'm buying every car
Right,
part in the place. And I'm
right,
walking
right,
out of
right.
there with calipers, rotors, freaking whole light assemblies, all stuff that's a couple $100, and I spent $12. Ooh, you know?
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. If you got a seller, yep, and your
Yep.
son, that sounds good.
Yeah, it
I got
helped them out.
permanent PayPal ban, and like that's been years, and I can't do anything about it. I'll never fix it,
Really?
and so I can't electronic money. I'm not a trader. I'm not in. I have Cash App, but it goes through my other card.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's my main one that I use is Cash App. That's the funny thing. People wonder where Crumbawig came from. And
Okay,
I got in a big fight with Cash App when I was trying to set up my original account. It
right.
gave me the name Crumbawig, and I
Okay,
just threw the 420 on the end of it. So that's where it came from. Had nothing to do with anything else, but yeah. So I can
Crumbawig. Yeah, yeah. It gave
thank
you
Cash
like
App for that one. I remember when my card came from him in the mail, and my wife just looked at me and she said, "Really?" She said, "You really are using that as your name?" I'm like, "Yep."
you just lucked into it. Sean is not a robot. Sean has real cards. Sean, how'd you send me the Joe that was like smoking the cigar? That was like wild, man. That was crazy. Being rolled, smoking Joe or whatever. That shit's crazy, man. You're not fake because you can't send me real shit. I guess I got it. Where is it?
Cheers, Sean.
My bad, my bad. I'm kicking myself out of my own studio. Oh, Smokey Joe. Yes, that's absolutely correct. I can't find it. I kicked myself out of here trying to. I'm so sorry. I got seeds right here from Off Grid, actually. Seeds from Off Grid and a Starlight.
Sweet.
So these seeds, there's a lot of seeds in there, man. I mean, he didn't say they're all, feminized and they don't all pop
Right.
either, but there's a lot of seeds in there. And they're not just like hiding around in your bag or whatever.
Yeah, nice, nice.
So that's something I will pass on to our farmer. They're only going to do one strain right now. It's 420 every hour, man. And the Starlight is cool too because it's got garnet stones inside of it.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
cool. I mean, I'm not gonna pull it out right now because I knocked everything over anyway. Don't want to lose this.
No.
It's small enough to lose, man.
Off
But
grid's a
no,
good.
I had a good time with the sugar, man. The sugar was good. The sugar and liquid.
Good. Good.
I hope you enjoy everything you get, man. You will.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. And as I said, one of the things I looked at, I wanted to initially place a bigger order, but then I was
Yeah.
like, I trust everybody. I trust 90% of the people that I deal with on YouTube. And,
Okay.
so I just needed to make sure that, if a Cash App transaction was going to go sideways, that it wasn't going to be something that I was suddenly going to have to justify,
Yeah. Yeah. Only risk what you can lose, no problem. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
sent away for paper in crypto and I won't do that because they don't do anything, They just
Yeah.
start coming up with games or talking about how like you want to ensure the last minute delivery. We need to get like, this much more to secure the package because it's of sensitive nature and you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
logarithmic or look at my log, like your logarithmics are not making any sense here,
Yeah. I had a
Bullshit.
place online where I could buy shrooms all the time. I could buy them by, the quarter pound. It was fantastic. And they suddenly went over to Bitcoin. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not comfortable with it. That's probably why.
What types did they offer? Like anything you wanted? I mean, you could get like Sonoran and Colombian and Cambodian. Like, what could you do? Like, because I don't know any place like that you can just order shrooms.
No, this was in the United States. They were shipping out of California.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, the product was great. I ordered from them 2 or 3 times. And as I said, I hesitated. I was going to order right after I got my last shipment in. And I'm like, no, I
Right.
can wait. And
Right.
it apparently had changed at the end of the month. So, you snooze, you lose. So again, that was another reason why I decided to start growing my own. Then I can have a fairly endless supply.
Pretty easily. Yeah. Pretty easily. It doesn't take much. It doesn't. It's good if you can hit it every like 4 months. That's all you need, really.
Yeah. Yep. Get some good flushes and yeah.
Yeah, nah, man. All that Bitcoin and stuff, it's always looking scammy. It's not my way. I'll give you, cash if you want to put it in that. But I'm
I
not
got
in
a
that.
I got a friend of mine who's got so much money in it, and he
Yeah.
buys property for it and stuff, or with the money, and I'm like, it's
What
just not
man?
for me,
Yeah. It sounds like tomorrow they could say there is no money and all those properties and everything just collapse, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, pay up day now,
Yep.
where's the cash?
And he was talking about how one of the companies, I guess you mine Bitcoin, whatever. I don't know a lot about it, but they wanted to run a server out of his basement in the
Yeah.
building that he runs his business in, and they were going to pay him $6,000 a month.
Right.
But
My
what he
father
didn't
does not understand.
realize
He doesn't
was,
believe me. He doesn't
yeah,
believe me. When you go on these streaming platforms that pay people, it's
sure,
because they use your phone data to crypto mine, cryptocurrency.
right.
That's why. It's the straight up only reason that they have money. You know what I'm saying? It's not real money, it's Dubai money. But, they get to have it because they get to borrow your packets. And my dad's like, no way. And I'm like, times 225 million. Yes way.
So I'm
Yeah.
asking if it's the Dogecoin we're talking about.
The what
The
coin? It's all of
Dogecoin.
them. It's all of them. It's all of them. Yeah. But
It
no, but
is.
they use the technology when when you sign into something and it says verify yourself as a human, and then you watch your CPU usage go, you know,
Yeah.
it's because they're using your memory storage to data mine or packet mine crypto. Yeah, some Joe coin. Yeah, they got some Joe coin out there, pump and dump to the moon. pump and dump some shitcoin. You find an E with a line through it, not the euro, I guess. But no, I mean, I just think it's totally reasonable because even that limited data, it goes all the way back to, like I said, when you were connected to a network like a DARPA net or whatever. All those people literally had end contact to you. You know, you
Yeah,
were basically writing yourself into a white pages by calling up any server that you called up and then creating a network of computers from there, which is literally all it was, you know. No internet
mhm,
of, it was just literally kind of computers talking to each other. But they definitely had your end address, and now they do too.
yeah.
All the way
Oh
back
yeah,
around to that, man, with the whole ruse of security and privacy and all your data and how important you are and how expensive it is to protect you every month and join
yeah,
this service shield and this shield and third shield. And
yeah, yeah,
back around to, now it's like when the government says, oh, now you got to upgrade your ID or whatever, got to have a chip in it and have like weird colors and all that shit,
yeah,
scannable and all that.
yeah.
Got to do it, man. You got to do it. Put it in the microwave later. But you have no choice because you can't participate in commerce, and that's exactly what they did, by putting like any, sticker on somebody and saying you can't
Yeah.
participate in commerce. That's the way to get you out.
It's unfortunate. It really is, and unnecessary.
Yeah. That hold is too tight. But if people are like giving in kind and they pay attention to each other, every like lost homeless soul that I see, there's 21 people that should have been paying attention for sure. They've all
Yeah,
failed that person already.
yeah,
And that's more of a tragedy. We can do that. We can do
yeah,
that. People have your eyes on each other, man. Care about each other, call each other up. Wellness checks, man.
yeah. Those are huge, huge, huge. You
Yep.
know.
And check on the elderly people so that they're like public assistants or whatever aren't taking them to the bank. You got to watch shit like that, bro.
Oh
Watch
yeah.
that shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Had to convince Dad to stay home today. He wanted to go to. He moved about 2 years ago, so his old house has to be sold and some other properties that he has. And he wanted to go over to the old house, sit on the front porch, and watch the parade because he's done it forever.
Right.
And he's on oxygen now. He's 82. There's no way that he could carry his chair, his oxygen with his two batteries, and all this other stuff. And plus, the
Yeah.
heat I talked about earlier. So he was all mad about it. And it's like, Dad, would you
Right.
rather be alive, or dead because you watched the parade? Because we
Right.
figured it would be almost 5 hours round trip for him, and it's just too much
Yeah.
on the guy. Yeah. Yep. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean, obviously he understands and he downscaled his living environment, and I mean, you haven't sold off the homestead yet, but it doesn't mean you can just run right back. It's not the same
right.
conditions anymore. You're not going to come out there. It's 92 degrees.
Yep.
You don't have anybody to help you get around. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's trying to cling to some of that stuff that he doesn't want to give up yet. And he's got to prove to himself that he can't do it anymore, because eventually we're going to have that discussion, gee, Dad, you can't drive anymore,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah. My father's there, but I can't. We let him do him at this moment. And I
well,
have very bad driving record behind me, and he remembers LimeWire and Kazaa. Getting all your free stuff, man, part by
yep,
part, bit by bit, bit torrenting.
yep, yep.
One
Jeez.
time I was on the phone with my best friend, and she was setting up a new LimeWire, and at the end, do you intend to use this to steal copyrighted materials? And she said, should I say no? And I said, no, you should say yes. Tell them the truth. She said yes, and it kicked her right back to the beginning.
Did it really?
Yeah, but we were on the phone the
Ah,
whole time, so it was
that's
worthwhile.
funny.
It made her start all the way over.
Alexa, turn all lights off.
She was just telling the truth, man. See what happens.
That is funny. Yeah, Alexa just scared the hell out of me. Turned the lights on in the den. It got really bright in here. I was like, good God.
I know you just said turn all lights off. Good one. Good move. Yeah, the Pirate Bay. We'll get you some Pirate Bay shirts, Sean. Those are killer. What was that? Scandinavia or Netherlands? I forget. It was like S.sk or .nl or something. Definitely not our country code, man.
No, not at all. So you got big plans for the week ahead, Joe?
Tuesday, yeah. We're gonna have a car pick us up and take us out for lunch. Yeah, that's like total fucking plush and lush. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Nice. Hey, why not?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna go on a 1-day vacation type thing.
Nothing wrong with that. You got to do stuff like that.
Yeah, my wife's living elsewhere, which means double expense. You know what I'm saying? Living somewhere else, paying somewhere else.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
instead of doing like a 3 days at a motel like we would, we're just gonna go out and have a car because we know it's gonna be hot. And I got a friend who drives us around in a van.
Uh-huh.
Cheap, it's cheap and all.
Hey, nothing
So
wrong with that.
we'll scale it down, man. PirateBay.nl, man. All right, well, I'm actually going to get going. I really appreciate you coming in. It's just
Hey,
after
no
midnight
problem.
here. I'll listen to the news
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It is. Wow.
just a little bit. I got to leave dude alone. He was okay. He was already there. He's already asleep probably.
Nice.
But he's usually coughing on the wall at 11:30. I think he fell asleep already, which is cool. But I'll just listen to the news and talk to you later.
All righty.
Have a good ride.
Hey, you too.
Keep me up on your progress, man, with your fruits.
Sure will. Sure will.
Enjoy.
All righty.